So I don't think I haven't been in the shed since probably around before our Arcadia show. So we stopped practicing in the shed and moved to Gus's in the winter. So, I mean...
So there could be like wild animals in here and shit?
Yeah, this is what's left of shed.
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Am I going first? Yeah, what? I don't know what I'm going to be talking about.
I don't know. Tell me about it.
I wasn't in the band. All I have to talk about is like, no. I don't know.
What?
Shed was really cool. Johnny, I really don't know what you want from me. Like, Hunter and I had just started dating at that point, and he was like, hey, just like come over, and I just stayed there for a little while during practice. But I do specifically remember while we were there, they practiced Sure and Ophelia. And I think everything else that they did was complete bullshit, but when they like got together and decided that something sounded good together, as loud as it was, like they could really progress together. One of them would have a very particular emotion about something and need to write about it, and I think everyone else was able to like somehow like 5 different people came together and met from like totally different places and were like they found like this one specific energy that they all really liked. So I think kind of what happened at the end was not everyone was feeling the same energies anymore.
Ophelia is pretty cool.
Ophelia is my favorite fucking song in the world.
And they played it.
That was the last song they played as a request by me because it was my birthday and like.
Well, that's a good idea.
You know, that's all.
Good job. Thanks for doing that.
It was all bullshit. Stop. I want it to be over.
What about when you performed?
I've always liked Amy Winehouse, and I think she's an amazing person.
She's
God
dead.
rest her fucking soul.
She died.
Yeah. No, it was really cool to see a completely different interpretation. And again, like they were all able to find something to feel about that song, I think, and then like bring it together. And Delon on the violin. The sweetest thing, other than performing, was when they played Happy Birthday by the Beatles. Or was it Birthday Song? I don't remember which one. Just like, I heard it's your birthday, burning it. And yeah, that was very heartwarming, and they surprised me with that. So yeah, they're all beautiful people.
Wow.
In the end.
That was a really good account you gave. I was listening, and that was really interesting and well put.
It sounds cheesy, but it's really easy with Johnny because, like, if I was being interviewed by someone I didn't know, I'd be like, shit, I don't know what they're gonna edit. Like I'd be so stressed about how I'm acting and talking.
Yeah.
But there were moments where I was like, oh wait, it's Johnny.
How was the show?
Oh, you know, these guys, I've been fortunate enough to hear them along the way, and I got to know each member of the band and their style and their musicality. It was a real joy watching them develop as a band. And so the show was, you know, beyond just being a wonderful musical experience, it was emotional. I realized how emotional I felt about it, because I really I fell in love with each one of these guys. But Nick has assured me that this isn't the end of their relationship musically. It's just the end of the formal band title of Shed.
Yeah, me and Nick were talking about like Nick said in a way it's their first show of this new way that they're going.
Yes. That's cool because the show was on the basis of each of them already beginning to reach out and go out away from Shed and be themselves. That's really a cool way of putting it, because Nick and I said there was a flavor to the performance on Friday night that was different than the performance a month prior. And I think it had that sense of each player felt a kind of freedom. It wasn't in the name of Shed, it was in the name of, their musical bond. Yeah, that's cool.
And they ended it with Ophelia.
Yes.
Which was
I was so happy. I love that song. I feel like it was it represented the best of what Shed was. It was this early sort of naive work. And I say naive because now they all seem to suggest that it's, in the past it's from when they didn't know anything, but it had, because they were young and didn't know anything, it's a great song. And I looked at the crowd was digging it. It's such a different sound from all their other stuff. It's this happy, bouncing thing. It's fun for me too. I've learned that each one of these guys' fathers, in particular, were very instrumental in the musicians that they are today because of the music that they played for their sons. In Nick's case, he heard me play guitar. He would go to bed at night and I'd be downstairs and I'd be playing, and he would hear me play as he went off to sleep. And there's no question that that influenced his musicality and his musicianship. That's tremendously gratifying for me, I'll tell you that. He's got this desire to perform. He's a performer. He wants to... I just wanted to sit around and doodle and play for my own amusement. He has this drive to share it. He feels strongly that he has something to say, and he really wants to say it. Well, Hunter was the first person that I met, of course. He'd been friends, and Hunter is a wonderful person. We'll always be good friends. He's awesome. I saw the spirit he brought. He has an attitude and an approach to life that is very unique and special, and I loved his presence in Nick's life.
Why did Shed break up? Who's your least favorite member of Shed?
Myself. Oh, don't put this in the thing. Is it worse to have a dirty water filter or not have a water filter at all? Okay, let's do this. I can't, Johnny, I don't like your camera.
I know, it's black and it's bitter as shit.
Literally close.
Earthy aroma. No, one of them be in my bedroom right now with like an acoustic.
Got that candid?
Yeah.
Like an electric.
Gotta get interviews of everyone.
Very subdued.
The thing I'm nervous about is it's a great
Time, I had a good year. I love these four men with all my heart.
I love you,
Our
Hunter!
shows got better and better. I love my fans.
Hey,
Had a good time.
Mr. Cameraman,
How you doing?
how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, it's your good friend Gus here.
The 40. Show the 40s.
40 ounces, baby. I'm on a diet, it's a Bud Light. You know, I'm watching.
He's gluten free now, Ma.
Okay.
For tonight's rate with the hotel as per the breakfast officer, it will just be $84.50, including fees and taxes.
Alright, great, that's great.
In any case, you will be receiving a confirmation via email.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good one.
Alright, thank you so much. So, one second, please. So, am I set for this evening at the hotel?
Yes. Front desk officer.
Alright.
You've got a room number 228.
Sweet. Very good.
228, yes.
Thanks again.
Fuck you.
Will you like?
Damn it, Hunter.
Johnny is the best photographer/videographer out there. Best.
Can I please?
Cool, dude. Yeah, because we want to hang out. We want to kind of party, but like, it's not gonna be
Let me get another beer in my system quick.
I ate it.
Ophelia. I expected it's pretty good. Last
Ophelia, we did.
rehearsed the other two. Dude, we haven't rehearsed Ophelia in like.
Do you have money that I can pay you back?
Got some money. What do you need?
Well, no, I just mean in terms of like getting a room.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about the last Shed show?
I think we killed it. I'm really happy we did Ophelia. I thought it was really cool that we ended with Ophelia.
How can you sum up the band breaking up without too many details?
Different strokes for different folks. Is that right?
Yes. I'm gonna go to bed. So email me tonight or tomorrow. I'll message you if you don't.
Okay, I got you.
See ya. 60.
That was tips.
What?
Yeah.
Someone's trying to show off.
60, 70, 80, 100. We got $100 right here.
175.
All right.
So how much you want to just take all that with you and then decide how much to spend?
Yeah.
And then the rest will help go towards the hotel. I'll just go tell people to wait for further instructions.
Are we taking equipment back?
People are gonna answer. You gotta get.
Alright, I need to get water. I did a classic Nick thing where I filled this with water and I drank it all. I just brought the cup back.
Classic Nick.
Alright, so how do you want to do it? You got questions for me?
Yeah, how was the show?
The show was awesome. I think it was kind of weird because it was definitely the first show where I had zero nerves. And I had some nerves before the show, but I was so comfortable on stage and I really felt like everyone in the crowd was my family. Should I look at the camera at you or out the window? The last show, I think right now there's still some shock factor. You know, like the show went great because it was the last show. On paper it should have gone great. We had a little hotel party after. There were definitely people at our hotel party at the show I didn't know and still don't know their names. Yeah, I think it's gonna take years even to take in this last show, because in some ways this was the first show. This was the first show before we all go to our next steps. It's kind of an amazing thing that we're able to break up, because that's where we're at in our musicianship, you know? We're so good now and we're so comfortable on the stage and so comfortable talking to other musicians that we don't need to rely on this specific group of people. So it was our last show, but it was the first show of many that are going to come from all of us.
I don't care what happens in my life. If I can have these videos when I'm 50, I'll be happy.
I'm gonna delete all of them.
James.
If you want us to play more, we have to do what you tell us to do.
Alright, let's play one more.
Alright.
Don't break up.
Don't break up.
Derek really wanted to do it if we had time. Come on.
Crazy train.
No, Dad, come on. Oh boy, Ophelia. Alright, it's your birthday.
No way, I don't even know how to play it.
Well,
Guys, we don't have all night.
And Gus was extremely impressed with his playing. He plays in this technical style that a very disciplined technical style, and I could see his passion. I know from being a musician myself that you don't play like that just playing every once in a while off the cuff.
Yeah.
You play like that because you play a lot and you really work hard to get your fingers to be that nimble. A really dedicated guy. So I knew that he was for real.
Wookie smoky. Ask away, Johnny.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How's life?
It's good. No complaints. Yeah, I was in a songwriting class at Century College, and that's where I met Hunter and Delon and Eric. Shit, all of them. And they had this buddy Nick, but I got together with Hunter at songwriting, and he said, "Yeah, we got this kind of indie rock sort of project." And I was at the time I was kind of like, I was like funk and R&B, that was the only things I wanted to play. So I didn't have any bands, so I was like, shit, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I didn't know what to expect or what it really was all about, but I just wanted to play with people because I was kind of been in the basement just, trying to get some chops. I didn't have much experience of jamming, so I was like, just playing with people is great. But yeah, and then we were like, well, shit, let's be a band. And I was like, great. I went over there to audition or whatever. I didn't know if I had the gig. I just did every chop I knew at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to fucking riff out and see if they like it. And sure enough, they did. So I was in the band. But I was always just cool with, being the bass player and playing my shit and, having to be my own bass lines I came up with. That was plenty for me.
Do you feel like you did, hone your craft more, being with the band and having to...
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah, I was kind of figuring out what my style was at that time. Just develop. That was a great place to develop your craft. You're in a shed. You're with four dudes and you're sweating. It's like you got nothing to lose.
What's going on now? It's like a few months after.
Oh,
shed.
Playing wise, I don't know, man. I mean, I was sad, man, when we broke up. I was like, fuck, I thought. But I understood it because, everyone wants different things. You can't force, if people aren't enjoying playing together, it's like, I don't want to screw up friendships, get it to that point where you're forcing the music so much and playing together. So I was like, I didn't want to, I was like, if people want to do other things, that's fine. And I was, I was bummed, and then, but it was after a week or two, I'm like, this is great. Getting to just be on my own again. It was kind of nostalgic, almost like, I'm back in my basement, just working on my shit. So when I wanted to jam with people again, which didn't take long to want to do that, but I kind of had some new stuff to bring to the table. I mean, the band ended, but we have, I think we're all happier with what we're playing now. I can just sense it. Things seem kind of forced by the end. People want to do different stuff, and I was liking kind of the direction we were going, but that'd be selfish of me to be like, to try to force everyone to stick it out if they weren't into it, So I had no really hard feelings for anyone. I was like, it's the end, but yeah, for all of us, it was like that was just the start of everything.
Yeah, and then it was like serendipitous that the last song you played was
the first one, right? Yeah, that was cool. I didn't even think of that. Jesus, that is cool. Yeah, that was the first song we ever jammed and played in front of anyone together, and the last, and it was like, yeah, it was. Now I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, how was
In a perfect world, I would have loved to be on one of those fucking VH1, behind the music things of Shed. Everybody, you think like that, because it's like, it's exciting to have those, dream that one band you started with is going to be the one through all the years, but that obviously doesn't always happen. It, you know, in a lot of cases it doesn't. So I think I knew in the back of my mind it was maybe a stepping stone to some degree.
I want to say, I don't know how many people follow our Instagram. It's shed_twins.
Got one. Thank you.
Yeah, two. So we can let's bust out the A to A.
Why is it called Shed?
Because I got this dope shed in my backyard, and well, me and Nick started making music in that shed when I was a junior, and he was a freshman, I think. And then I don't know, we just always went to that shed, whether we were making raps or making beats, and eventually we just started jamming in there with everybody. So we decided to name it Shed because we got the shed. Gus, the amazing bassist, Gus Lecher, Derek Ness, the great prodigy, virtuoso classical guitarist, Delon Smith, the multi-instrumental, fucking great person, Nick, Jesse John, Baron Laterno, the whiz kid, natural musician guitarist, and me, Hunter Hawthorne, the piano player.
I can't focus the. I guess like before I go into everything, like, is there anything that just like you just?
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
No, like
what?
Like just anything that you've thought of that you want.
Oh, there's something really good I thought of last night. But I kind of forgot it. So, how many shows did we have in total?
Like
we had
11.
11? Jenny Lynn, Willie's, Cadence, 2 Century shows,
Avalon Prom,
2 Acadia shows.
Lil Decaf.
2 Little Decafs. Oh, wow. Shit, we had 10 whole shows.
If I counted on my fingers, I think there's like 11 to 13. It's like between 10 and 13 real shows we played together in the past year. I think Jenny Lynn was super cool. That was an elementary school that our drummer Delon, his dad is the principal there, and they had like a huge festival. You know, there was games for the kids and like a jumping house, and we like drew a shed on the ground in chalk, and then wrote our set list down in the chalk, and that was cool. The kids really were digging that.
My least favorite show is probably Jenny Lynn, which was the elementary school that we played at. We got the gig because Delon's dad is a principal, so he like had us play at his school's outdoor event that goes all day long, and it was, whew, we messed up Ophelia really bad. Shed. A story of men. A story of boys. A story of music. A story of love. Shed. Shed. I didn't like playing like that song Sabotage by Black Sabbath. No. That's a Beastie Boys song. What was it called? Paranoid. Songs like that. It just like, it was really clear that like Nick wanted to do like more heavy metal and like rock stuff, and it's not that there just isn't room for that, because like if you do work it out, then like piano can be very cool in hard rock, but it seems like some people didn't want to give that energy to like try to like put the parts in there.
Yeah, you guys also played fucking Crazy Train.
Yeah, like songs like that. Like I feel like we were also in a weird like way catering to not even ourselves. Like.
And Delon blew my mind. You know, Delon was this natural musician. He sat down and he pulled instruments off the wall, and he would just start playing them. And I could sit down with him and pick up a guitar or a dulcimer, and the two of us could play without, endlessly for half an hour. And I was like, oh, this guy's special. This guy's got something going on there.
This is the dog.
Before Derek was in the group, you guys performed Ophelia for.
We Ophelia at Century. We
yeah, like
2
at
times
your
at
class.
Century without Derek.
Oh yeah. What was your first, like, real gig? Willie's?
I say either we did some weird gigs in the beginning. We did Willie's. We played at my dad's school in Minneapolis.
It comes to Hunter and he goes, my least favorite show was probably Jenny Lynn.
It was a weird show, man. The sound wasn't right. Derek got there late.
Just like, what were the cool parts about the band? Or maybe some of the setbacks? Just jamming?
Jamming was cool. Honestly, whenever we were playing together, which is like the sad part, because whenever we were playing together, it was always fun. I don't know. We were trying to do a lot. We were trying to do a lot. It had sets with different genres. There's a lot of songs everybody wants to learn, and we're just trying to figure out like what can we actually spend time on. So, a lot of hard rock, and then some softer pop. That's I don't know. We did a lot of the covers, like Black Diamond, a lot of Kiss, which I don't mind. The Kiss is cool. And then I know Hunter would want to do like some softer, more melody-based stuff, and we just didn't have time to do everything.
You're like a multi-instrumentalist. Like, what was your like your evolution of first instrument you did to like what other things you tried?
I started violin when I was three, and I played that. And I got a guitar when I was 9, the Ibanez. I picked up bass because I play in a quartet group with my dad and my grandpa, like family, and we didn't have a bass player, and I was playing guitar, so I switched over. And drums, I learned drums with Shed. That's probably why like Shed's always going to be in my heart, because I learned how to play drums with them.
Can you summarize the end of Shed, the breakup of Shed, in just any way?
Like how, or like how did we go about it?
I don't know, just any thoughts on it, or like interpretations of it?
Very uncomfortable. I'm the quiet voice of the group. I think the whole time that we were all talking, there was kind of this like in the back of our heads, where we're like, yeah, this is the end, but we're still gonna like make music. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna end up working together. So like I still make beats with Hunter.
Oh, okay. So we got situations here. Someone in the audience here, it's their birthday today. I wonder who that is though. Our friend Laurel Bur is in the house. Before she does come up here, I have to be honest with her and everyone. Although we have been practicing a song with her that we're going to play up here with her, we've kind of been practicing something else behind her back. So Laurel, we're still going to do that song with you, but first we have to do.
Yeah, I figured you'd follow through on your promise.
was a really great feeling to be in Acadia and to see bands that I looked up to play there, like Rhino Shrine or Pond Flower, and to absolutely pack that place. And they like to look up from playing this song that like usually I'm in the shed with like my big headphones on, and then instead looking up playing the same song and seeing just like a sea of faces. Like it was a completely surreal experience. I think we did 3 encore songs. Someone shouted out, "Don't break up," like during one of our last songs, and that like really tore my heart a lot. I was like, oh man, like.
Breaking up. Let's see. I think the biggest part of Shed that makes it what it is the fact that there's 5 of us who have like our own complete view of what we want to do musically. And it's forced us to kind of fusion some classical melodic metal type melodies with some indie techniques, with some very alternative drumming, and then all that noise fitting in the piano. And it's beautiful. There's definitely not room to fit everything in there completely or inherently. You just can't make a song that is completely metal, indie, pop, R&B, funk, heavy rock. But I definitely became very controlling with the band. I've always been someone who has high hopes and a lot of big goals, and I want to chase them, and I get very aggressive about it. And there's been a combination of some people not communicating enough that they want to see Shed do other things, and also me just really taking over. There's also a lot of personal differences. A really good band is built on the foundation of a really good friendship. A good band means that all the bandmates are on the same page of where they're all at in life, emotionally. Ultimately, we need to be brothers. And I think we realize that on all of our parts, there's been some dishonesty and some just lack of connection. And there's no bad blood. I wouldn't say it's at a point where any of us think that someone can't change or we can't learn to find common ground. As soon as the concept of the band breaking up happened, I personally got scared, and I realized how much I depended on everyone in the band for a foundation of playing gigs and making music. But I quickly learned that we all are so ready to make music by ourselves and with other people, and it's because of this past year that we've spent together. So
I feel anxious, excited, sad,
feel a lot of things. It's gonna be fun though.
And then Derek came along, and and he brought in this guitar style that this very technical metal style, and he really influenced me and Nick certainly to listen to a guitar playing in a broader way. A great musician.
I feel sad because anything after this, if we jam together, it's not the same. It's not shit.
You still jam together?
Oh, fuck yeah.
We met at Cadence
sounds cliche, but
one time.
creative differences.
We met at Cadence one time, yeah.
Just
nice to see
mostly
you.
people want to go in different directions. Delon and Hunter are definitely going for more of a softer, more, probably pop kind of vibe. And I know Gus, Nick, and I, we're like kind of like, we're the hard rock guys. You want one of these?
Don't you go out, cuz.
I had to know. I remember my grandpa when I was really little.
Mark, how do you feel about Shed's last show?
Is there a mic on this right now?
Yeah.
You want to smoke some weed? We're here. We're at Acadia. It's the last Shed Full Collective show. It's 2019, February 22nd. It's not a bad winter day in Minnesota.
Last time I went to
I was good at the stage. I didn't see that. Besides the straight metal on Boys, let's huddle up real quick. Alright, boys, circle up, come on.
No, is that new 40 that's clear?
It's clear. It's clear.
I'm grabbing Derek's pinky. Or maybe that's Hunter's.
Yeah, that's definitely on.
We're gonna rock the fucking whole place out tonight.
Mhm.
We're gonna give people the show they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Smells like
I don't really know what they deserve.
You got a little stank on
Can I be
you.
honest? I'm wearing so many layers right now. I'm really fucking hot.
Got a little bit of that.
I got a crop top on.
Must have fun.
A wife beater?
You're gonna take
like
this one across
a crop top.
during
Oh shit!
Like cooking up.
First, I thought that was Van Halen.
All right, so
I do.
Okay.
shed is still an important word. Shed on fun on the thing after 3. 1, 2, 3, shed.
Yeah, sure.
1, 2.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, shed!
Oh wow. Man, that was a movie scene and a half.
That was, you know what, like every month.
All right, I got tinkle.
Guys, what? Guess what Johnny just asked me? Why do you guys cover crazy shit?
Dude.
It's terrible.
Why did we?
Dude, I just took a shit.
Pick me up, guys. Oh my god, maybe don't.
What time are we trying to get there?
Like ASAP. Not like ASAP, like if we could teleport there, we should. But like we should aim for ASAP so we get there at a good time. And you know, with me and Hunter, there's never. I don't even know the words to explain our musical relationship, because when we met, I was barely playing acoustic guitar, and he was making these things that he called beats. I mean, they were like pretty much like the kick would be just that. And for some reason, when I heard his first awful, shitty fucking beat, I just knew that he'd be the best
beat maker and producer ever. I saw his passion, his excitement when he showed me these awful beats, and I was like, this is who I want to work with. Like, this is who I want to rap with. And it was perfect because I couldn't rap for shit. I couldn't play guitar for shit. And so me and him saw that spark in each other, and we made some really bad, weird things together in his room. You know, eventually that's how Shed started, was us just playing music in his room and stuff. And one time we were inside the shed and I was playing guitar, he's playing piano, and our friend had drums, and we were like, well, it's kind of loud with the drums, we might have to turn it up a bit. And that slowly started to birth of more of a rock thing. So easily, not to give credit to me and Hunter, but easily our relationship is what fueled what would have been and what was Shed. And at the time, our bassist was Johnny Regip. That was the plan, was for Johnny Regip to be our bassist while Delon played drums. And
you kicked me out.
I'm not really sure what happened.
Kicked me out of the band.
But you know, maybe one day we'll make a documentary.
You kicked me out and didn't tell
that.
me, actually. In fact.
So, but yeah, shout out to Gus, by the way, amazing bassist. I mean, couldn't do it without him. Really the heart and soul of Shed. Edit this out. Yeah, Hunter. The thing about Hunter is there's so much, because the thing about me and Hunter's relationship with music is that if I were to make 6 different projects for the next 20 years and Hunter wasn't a part of any of them, I would still have to give him credit. Me and him making music together in his bedroom was the transition point of music being an interest to music being a passion to music being a career and a lifestyle. We taught each other all the right questions to ask, and you know, the fact that he was mostly invested in producing hip-hop and making instrumentals, and I started to grow this passion for rock music. Those are 2 completely different worlds of production. So we forced each other to learn new things. Everything music for the rest of my life will have started with Nick Letourneau and Sinclair.
I'll never have that summer again, you know? Like, we're just, like, getting to know all each other, and I, like, Gus and Delon and Derek, like, I mean, Nick I'd known since junior year, but, like, I mean, I don't miss, like, playing shows and not knowing what the fuck we're doing and, like, being terrible and, like, hating ourselves afterwards. I miss, like, being in the shed and laughing and goofing off and being best friends with a person for, like, 3 years and going through a lot of stuff. There's a time where you just have to separate and go on your own, and me and Nick had a very, I mean, because we were like fucking brothers. Like, we were very similar people, and we had like a strong bond. And so when we'd be hanging out with each other, whether it's just him and me or him and me in a group setting, like, it was always like, here's us and then here's everybody else. And like,
you played Ophelia for the last
song. That was amazing. Honestly, that made me really happy. I feel like that was like a great way to close it, because that's actually Ophelia's the first time that the band got together. Is me, Delon, and Nick were like jamming in the shed, and like Nick was using my acoustic guitar and he like plugged into an amp and it was like really shitty, and I had my piano and I didn't know how to play, and Delon literally just had a cymbal and a snare, and we just sit there jamming for like hours. And then I wrote Ophelia, and we put that together, us 3, because by the time Acadia happened, we hadn't played Sure or Ophelia or Mega Hot in like months, and we had like scrapped those songs, and we weren't gonna come back to them unless they were like completely like rewritten. So it was cool to do Ophelia as our last song and our first song, kind of like a very bittersweet moment, almost very cyclical in a way. It was really cool. I was really happy my girlfriend shouted out. She said, "Play Ophelia, it's my birthday." Play Ophelia, you have to, it's my birthday.
and we had already played 2 songs for Laurel on her birthday. But no, Ophelia was really a spiritual moment, honestly, because I've joked and been as harsh as so far I've gone and just said I hate that song before.
Come on, crazy train.
No, Dad, come on. Oh boy, Ophelia. All right, it's your birthday.
No way, I don't even know how to play it. Well, guys, we don't have all night.
Okay, well this is a test. I'm preparing GoPro here to head over to the Cadence Record Shop to hear Nick and his band Shed play. So I'm trying to get the camera synced with the phone and figure this out. I've only done it a couple of times with mixed results. So this is a test, and let's see how this goes here.